What's up YouTube, Dad here from Zephyr Games, bringing you the test hand video as requested for my Draco Demise build that I did yesterday. Now, this isn't the final build by any means of the margin. However, test hands are here for both me to learn, because you guys can sometimes see plays that I don't see, and obviously for you guys to learn, because what I found is invaluable is when you're coming up to big tournaments like regionals, nationals and whatnot, it's just as important to know your opponent's deck or the meta's deck inside out as it is to know your own. So without further ado, we're going to crack straight on. Dracos can go both first and second. I feel this deck is probably better going first, but what we're going to do is probably do about, depending on time, we'll do 5 going first, 5 going second. So let's start off with going first, shall we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that's relatively good, because that's kind of what you want to see in your opening hand is the card of Demise. So if we activate your diagram, set Apocalypse, diagram to pop Apocalypse. Now because you've set Apocalypse, you get this effect when you bring out Heritage. So speaking of which, where are we? There's Heritage. Activate Heritage. You now have 2 options. You can now activate Heritage and get 1 draw, or you can set Disciples and get 2 draws. So the other option as well is you could set Disciples, activate Demise, but then you're only going to get 2 cards. So it's a combination between getting 5 cards or 4 cards. So let's activate Disciples, set Disciples however you want it. Tribute Disciples off, gets you your Majesty. Now at this point you have 2 counters on this per se, because you sent 1 spell, 1 trap, so you've got 2 draws. Now I would recommend activating Demise first, because you will get a guaranteed 3 cards, whereas if you activate this and draw into a monster, it's going to be a little bit harder. So activate Demise, let's get you 3 cards. So you've got a Terraforming, you've got your Tree Draco, and you've got an Apocalypse, which isn't actually too bad, because we now activate Terraforming, we'll deck Fin by bringing out Diagram, we'll activate Diagram. Now Diagram isn't once per turn, so we can activate Diagram's effect to pop True Draco in our hand. That effect's going to go off, and so is that, so we get 2 searches right here. And we still haven't activated that for a draw as of yet. So the monster search, I would search Knuckle, and then I would then search, where are we? Disciples, because that eventually will give you the ability, well, it now has the ability to give you another draw because you have 3 targets in grave. Right. So, if you want a 3rd draw off of Heritage, you could tribute off Majesty, but I would rather have 2 monsters on board. So, let's activate Disciples. Let's shuffle back our True Draco Phoenix, our Disciples, and our Apocalypse. Again, your other option is you could have drawn from that and then popped that and then shuffled that back in, but you know, it all kind of comes the same at the end. But by leaving it on the board, we do have a stronger, if we do draw into Masterpiece, we have the option for that. Okay, so Disciple, draw. It's okay. Let's activate Heritage so we get another 2 draws. That's really good actually, because you set your Imperial Order, Heritage, activate the second ability to tribute off this one for Knuckle. Then you can activate this Heritage to tribute off and get out your another Majesty. So now our ending board is this. Now let's put it this way, during my opponent's turn, he's going to activate something, there's a guarantee. Now you have 1 of 2 ways around it. You could go Knuckle and activate a trap, then you have to wait for them to do something else. My opinion would say activate this one's effect, search out your Masterpiece, then once that's done you can chain the trap effect, tributing off a mixture, whichever one you prefer of the 3. Because you've used their effect, you could go that, and then let's make it, it's their first turn, so they're probably going to do spells a bit more, so we'll get that and go over Masterpiece. Masterpiece is now unaffected by monster and spell effects. Then if they activate anything else, Knuckle is set in, where are you? True King Return, which then makes Majesty in Graveyard active, so you can revive her. If they activate anything more from that, you then get another search off of Majesty as well. So, you know, it's insanely good. That was probably one of the stronger boards, and you've got Imperial Order to lock out spells if you wanted to. So you could have made Masterpiece immune to traps instead of spells. So that's just it for turn 1, and that's just, you know, so much disruption. Masterpiece is then active as well, that he could have popped a card during their end phase, so you can pop one of the back rows. You know, that is probably one of the stronger first turn hands you could possibly have got. Actually, I think we're going to have to minimise this down. We're probably going to have to do 3 going first and 3 going second, if they all work as long as that. So let's go test turn number 2. Going first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now this is interesting. So we've got a diagram. That's fine. Activating diagram, definitely. Now, your options here, if you sorry, if you pop Apocalypse, then of course you're going to have a draw in the end phase, but you've got to search out a monster, because even if you search out a spell, it's rather dead. Again, I think Imperial Order is probably stronger than lose 1 turn at this moment, so you could use lose 1 turn as follow as well. Regardless of how this outcome really works, you're going to be taking one anyway. So let's say we set Apocalypse, pop Apocalypse, and go into... Now you have 2 options. You can really gamble and go into Heritage and hope that you draw the 1 card you need off of Heritage, or you play it safe and add your Knuckle or your Majesty. That then leaves you with a monster on board with any mixture of either Warning and lose 1 turn, or lose 1 turn, Imperial Order and Warning. But let's gamble. Let's go with Heritage. I'm not saying this is the best play. Me personally, I think Knuckle is the safer play, because at least you've got something on board. But then again, with Heritage, if we are insanely lucky and we top deck a monster, then, you know, what can I say? So, activate Heritage. Heritage effect to draw. Monster. Ooh, no. Okay. So that is the gamble you play. You set all your back row and you go. You've got lockouts of spells. You've got a stop of a normal summon. You've got a lose 1 turn. Like, if they want a special summon, good luck with that. And then on top of that, you could then get a terraforming for your next turn, but you still have diagram to pop one of these cards to get another draw. So you do have the abilities, and even with that hand, even though it was minimal monsters, you still just had enough back row to kind of deal with anything your opponent could possibly throw at you, within reason. So let's go with our fun test hand going first, and then we'll start going second, and we'll try and build up a strong board and see how far we can go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Right, pot of duality straight off the bat. So we've got Heritage, another duality, no, I'm good. Or Imperial Order. Right, okay. This is again a very interesting moment, because if you take Heritage, you'll get in 2 draws, or Imperial Order is really strong. So it depends on how bad you want to lock your opponent out. So let's go with Heritage first. Let's play it a little bit safer. Activate 1 Heritage, set Apocalypse. Now, again, you have 2 options here. You can tribute both of these off, getting your Masterpiece on board unaffected by spells and traps. Again, if your opponent gets a Dryden on board, then it doesn't really matter. But Masterpiece could probably interrupt that. Or you activate your Desires and hope that your 2 draws are really good. Either way. Let's play... Last one we gambled, let's play it safe this turn. So, let's activate, set, tribute both off. There's our Masterpiece, again unaffected by spells and traps. Then we'll activate our Heritage. Heritage effect goes off, so you get to draw 2 cards. So we've got Disciples and a Demise. So that's not too bad, actually. Set everything. We don't have enough targets in grave yet, so let's activate Demise. 1, 2, 3. Again, quite good. Terraforming gets us Diagram. We still have a lot of draw power right here. Let's Majesty for your Heritage, just so we have 3 targets in grave for Disciples. So by getting the way you get Majesty aboard is activate the second effect to tribute summon additionally. Tributing this off, then we have our 3 targets for Disciples. It does mean Masterpiece is null and void. However, we haven't used Diagram yet, so don't worry too much about that. So let's put those 3 bad boys back in there. Shuffle it up and get a draw 1. We now have, so again, we've got diagram for the search, we have disciples as fodder, we also have lose one turn as fodder, and whatever we draw. So we're in a fairly decent position. Okay, so that's the draw for disciples is duality, which is fine. It's actually fine because then, even though you've already used it, it's dead. You activate diagram to pop this, search out your knuckle. You can use polarize if you wish. It's entirely up to you on how much of extension you want to go. But at this point, you activated heritage before, so now you activate disciples. Tributing off disciples gets you your knuckle. You then set your lose on turn, and you can leave it like that. Or let's activate the desires just because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Just check that that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So that's our banish pile. It's okay. Lost our 2 demises. And then our draw don't be a desires. Duality's dead. And then we're going to be losing Phoenix in the end phase because of demise. So that's fine. That can go. Not an issue. You've still got a very, very good board. So your opponent activates anything. Masterpiece is active because you've got Disciples Engrave. If your opponent activates anything, he's setting a trap, she's searching out a monster. So again, I would say her effect, search out any type of monster you wish. Actually, not any type of monster. Search out Masterpiece. His effect next turn to activate Return, or his first. It's entirely up to you. If you activate his first, you can then activate Return, bringing back the Draco Phoenix. Then if they activate anything else, Majesty's effect, search out your Masterpiece. Then after resolution, activate True King, tribute off your Draco Phoenix if you wish. And then the trap card, boom. Masterpiece is now unaffected by monster effects and traps and spells, and you've got to lose one turn on board. Again, a tile annihilation. Opponent locked out, they're not going to be doing a heck of a lot against you on that one. Right, let's start going second. So, some things that can counter out Dracos will be stuff like Abyss Dweller, more True King Dracos for Abyss Dweller, but also stuff like Master Retreat. Master Retreat is a big issue for this deck, but because we do have ways of popping our own back row through diagram, we can then just naturally out Master Retreat. So it's not as big of an issue as some people might fear, but it is still a royal pain in the arse. Right, test stand number 1. Well, test stand number 4 going second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The aim for going second is to do as much damage to our opponent as possible. Now, the only issue with going second with this deck is because it's designed with Card of Demise, you want to be popping it or getting rid of it during your second turn. Anyway, Duality is probably one of your best draws because it's not that big of a setback. So there's our Majesty. Those two can go away. Now, we can activate our diagram. We can pop something if we wish, or if you want to, you can go for the Hail Mary and activate your Pot of Desires. Now, we only have 1 fodder at the moment. We can only get Maiden on board. But I mean, before you activate Desires, you could search out what you need, and that would be a hell of a lot safer. But, you know, we like to risk it for the biscuit here. Alright, let's banish our 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I swear to God, if this 10 has 1, 2. If one of those is Desires, I'll be really disappointed. So, we've lost... yeah, we've got rid of Desires, that's a good thing. Okay, that's not too bad. We lost both 2 Heritage, but that's kind of like the biggest loss we had. And that's not bad. Oh, hang on. Don't want to mix those up. There we go, there's our banished 10. Yeah, that's not too bad. We've got our tributes off now. So if we activate both of these, or set both of these, tribute off... You've got 2 ways of doing this. You can tribute off 1, but to be totally honest, I think my opponent's going to have... If my opponent has any traps, I can go tribute those 2 off. There comes a Masterpiece, unaffected by spells and traps. Diagrams effect, to pop. Well, there's two ways of doing it. You could have got a Masterpiece out straight away, or you could have gone, got her on board, activate effect, tribute both off. He's now unaffected by spells and monsters. Your diagram is then active, so your diagram can then pop lose one turn or warning if you want it to, which searches out your last heritage. And because you did that cycle that way, you've gone through all three, so you get a draw of 3 off of heritage with our very thin deck left. So 1, 2, 3 off of heritage. Oh, that's quite good actually. Activate, change Stormforth, tribute off one of my opponent's monsters. There comes my Knuckle. Set 2, attack. Or you could use effect if you wish to. He's now live, so you banish that. Oh, also, sorry, I went a little bit too fast. When you did the tributes, you could have popped a monster there, you could have popped a back row there, and then, like I said, unaffected by monsters and spells. Could have easily been monsters and traps if you wanted to, really depending on how you wanted to do it. And then off you go, you've got enough to clear board and do a bit more damage. And then you're locking your opponent out, and you're stopping your opponent's summon. Plus you've got the interruption of that, plus you've got the search of that, or the set of that, sorry, should I say. So, yeah, pretty devastating. This is what I mean, if Dracos don't kill you, they certainly have enough on their board to lock you out. It's just safer for them going first, purely because they have less resistance. Like, there's less chance of you twin twistering their diagrams, or, you know, stuff like that. But they do have enough search power to get their diagrams back, should you pop it. Right. Test turn number 2, going second. Well, test turn number 5, going second. Okay, let's see how much destruction we can bring now, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have Disciples, diagram, activating that. Activate your pot duality. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Let's take King. Let's take Return of the King. Those two go back. Effective diagram, pop King, search out. Oh, we don't have a monster yet. Whoops. Search out Knuckle. Where are you, Knuckle? Knuckle. Effect of King to pop one of your opponent's monsters. Now again, you could have gambled this. You could have searched Heritage and then had Heritage get the draw for you. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's gamble. We like gambling here. True Draco, Heritage. Now you also have Desires that can help you get what you need. Okay, so Heritage is used 1, so you get the 1 draw. Duality, oh, that's disgusting. That's not what we wanted. Let's go with Desires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stop, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that was horrible. Please be good to me. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Right. We're a little bit okay now. Diagram, not that diagram, we've already used that diagram. Clear that diagram off, activate that diagram. That diagram pops duality because we don't want it anymore. Search out. We can get both on board, I suppose. Oh, sorry. Actually, we can get Masterpiece on board. So there's our Masterpiece. Then let's... What targets have we got in grave? We have 1 target in grave. So if we tribute, activate Heritage to keep your normal summon to get you Knuckle, we now have 2 targets in grave. Yeah, 2 targets in grave. Activate Draco Phoenix, set lose on turn. Tribute summon both lose on turn and Knuckle for Masterpiece. I mean, if my opponent activates anything at that point, I could have searched, could have set off of Knuckle. Now unaffected by traps and monsters. Activate Disciples, shuffling back Knuckle, Heritage, and Return. It really depends if you want the draw or if you want the ability to disrupt with Masterpiece. But to be fair, the draw, you could get what you need to extend it a little bit further. So then let's draw one. Not really. Didn't help. Boo. Oh set one trap, and then swing. So you still have protection of him, he can still do a lot, and then Imperial Order shuts down your opponent's spells next turn. So not too bad, not the greatest of one. Definitely wasn't as good as our first one, but that might have just came through the gambling. Like I said, that was just risk taken on that one. Right, so final turn, going second. Let's see if we can end on an OTK, shall we? Or at least an insanely strong board that my opponent's going to struggle against. I mean, side decking wise, if you know you're going to be going second, you would probably take out your demises and stuff like that. Maybe some more hand traps, like Ghost Dash. And then obviously, if you're going first, you can add in stuff like I said before in the deck profile, Necro Valley and Domain. Right, so 6th card. Terraforming straight off the bat is going to get us our where are you? Our diagram. Our diagram is then going to pop the Majesty for a double search. So we'll search out what we've got. We've got one target engrave. So let's search out. We've already got a masterpiece. Let's search out Majesty and let's search out. Don't want disciples. Don't really want disciples. Let's search out Heritage. Now you can risk it all for the biscuit and do a Desires. If you want to push that a little bit further, you don't have to. You do have the ability to draw if you want. You can activate one Heritage, tribute off the Heritage to Knuckle or whatever, and then you could tribute off that Heritage to get your masterpiece out. So you do have options, but you know, let's Desires it. That's what Desires is there for. I'm still not 100% sure I want it in the deck, but I do know it can actually help. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not too bad actually. Double draws. It's okay. It wasn't the best, but right. So let's activate this. Activate this effect to tribute off for Majesty. Again, if my opponent activates, she searches. Then activate Heritage. You have two options here. You can tribute off both of these for your masterpiece, or you can tribute off one for your Knuckle and just circle around. The only benefit of tributing off now would be if my opponent's activated something so that I can trigger something. But we got rid of a Disciple, so Disciples pop in back row. We can get a masterpiece out if you wish to. Again, that will only give us one extra draw. So it depends on how badly you want that extra draw. I believe you're going to activate the draw phase once. Yeah, you can only use each effect once per turn. So you either take the draw now, or you clear off your board a little bit for that extra draw. So it depends on if you want the 1 or 2 draws. I only want the 1 draw. Let's do the 1 draw. Disciples. That's okay. So we activated the effect of Disciples to get her tribute summon. So we still have our normal summon. So we can activate Heritage's effect to tribute Heritage off for Knuckle. Now we activate Disciples. Disciples shuffles back Heritage, Disciples, and Phoenix. Now, what we want to be drawing is a continuous spell, or we want my opponent to activate something so I can, continuous trap, so that I can set something with Knuckle. But okay, so we get a draw of Disciples, trap. Yes, that is perfect. That's what we wanted. So because we got rid of another spell as well, we're popping another back row. We can set that. We can activate or set, do whatever you want with that. Then we tribute off this trap and Majesty for Masterpiece. Masterpiece is now unaffected by monsters and traps. Trap effect goes off to pop one of my opponent's cards. I then set Warning and go to town a little bit. Your other option, if you wanted to keep Majesty on board, is to pop one of your spells. It really depends on what my opponent's got on board. If he's got a Dryden, then obviously I'm going to tribute for a monster. You would like to think at this point he's already activated Dryden, but again I would have chained the effects to search. Yeah, so that's your abilities. Now Masterpiece is active with these 2 engrave as well. And that's it. That's kind of what you got. That is what Draco Demise can do. Apologise if I misplayed anywhere there. Like I said, I am still learning the deck. I am still trying to get my head around the best possible ways of playing this deck. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it gives you a bit of an understanding of the Dracos. Well, this variant anyway. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.